Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Back out on Dartmoor again today for another wild camp. Today's camp is going to be at the most remote point in the south of England, so the furthest you can get from a road. That's going to be Tor. So I've started out at Belstone and getting a little bit of an unconventional route to get there, I think. So I'm going up and over Cosden Beacon and then down towards Little Hound Tor, Wild Tor, Hanging Stone Hill, and then I've got about a 2 kilometre stretch of open moorland with no paths to navigate to get up to Cut Hill, and then from there should be fairly easy to get to Tor. So I'm excited about this one. Tor's been on the radar for a little while for a wild camp, and it looks like the weather's going to be absolutely perfect today. I've made it to Cosden Beacon. Yeah, I was definitely a bit of a slog. That was probably almost an hour, maybe about an hour of just solid uphill with the pack on my back as well. Might leave the trig point to the locals today. But yeah, you can see if I spin you around. There we go. So you can see the route that we're taking is pretty much straight ahead. So that's Steeperton straight ahead, so we're not going that way. So we're going up there, so that's Little Hound Tor, and then Wild Tor, and then Hanging Stone Hill is the highest point in the distance. So essentially we're just going up Hanging Stone Hill, and then from Hanging Stone Hill finding a route across to Tor. So does that sound like a good plan? You're local, you know the area. No, you're sniffing your mate's arse. Okay. Yeah, Cosden Beacon. It's been nearly a year since I've been up here, which, for somewhere as stunning as this with these views as well, I'm not really sure why it's taken so long to come back here. Probably because there's a massive hill. That is a big herd of cows right in the middle of the path. Oh, little baby sheep. You alright? Oh. Oh no, have you hurt your leg? You okay? Oh. That's so sad. They are marked, so they obviously belong to someone. So hopefully a farmer will come and help you, little buddy. Oh, I wish I could do something to actually help you. The poor thing can barely walk. It was just laying down in a hole. I felt bad because it got up and moved because I walked through. Hopefully it gets some help soon. Yeah, it's the downside really to being out and in the wild with these sorts of things. There's a stone circle there. We're heading up here, so I presume this is Little Hound Tor. And then I think beyond that is Wind Tor, and then beyond that again is Hanging Stone Hill. So I've come down off Hanging Stone Hill, and I'm just navigating pure bog. I didn't think it would be this bad, and this is the part of the map where there was meant to be a path as well. Like, according to the map that I used, I should be literally on a path now. So this is pretty slow going. I think I'm definitely going to get to Furtor a lot later than I thought. But we'll keep going. At least we've got a bit of cloud cover now as well, so it's making the going a little bit easier. And occasionally I am hitting a little bit like this, which isn't just pure bog, so I can get a few meters in fairly quickly, but then you do hit something like this. Well, I'm glad that I'm doing this in the summer. There it is, Furtor. This has been pretty grim going. Ever since Hanging Stone Hill, it's just been bog, and there's obviously not really any paths or anything. I think we do pick up a bit of a path in a bit, which will be very welcome. And then swing around to Furtor. Alright, that is Cut Hill, and that is Furtor. I did not film much of the last hour or two, because to be really honest with you, it was absolutely miserable. It was just soaking wet feet, trudging through bog, no paths, everything, every step is completely uneven. But there is home for the evening, Furtor. So I think I did see a couple of people up there climbing on the rocks, so I don't know if they're camping or not, but I think it's a fairly good spot for camping, so there's plenty of pictures. Here we are, Furtor. Most remote point in, I believe, the south of England. Oh, I've got a really dry mouth. So I'm just looking around for a camp spot. So far, everywhere's been very wet and boggy. There's a spot over here that looked like it might be the best of a bad bunch. So I left my bag over here, and I've just walked the opposite way to which I'm going now, and found what might be a perfect spot. So I'm going back to get my bag, and then we'll get set up, and we'll see if my hunch is correct. This might be the best camp spot I've had on Dartmoor. Look at that view. I am exhausted though, I've worked hard for this. So when I first got the tent set up, the sun came out and was just really, really intense. So I ended up just pretty much hiding in the tent for a bit. Had both the doors open, so I was taking advantage of this absolutely amazing view. I think this is definitely the best view that I've had on Dartmoor camping from my tent as well. It's just unbelievable. So yeah, I've just been enjoying that really, and I'm gonna get some food on the go. I've just been fighting the urge really to not drink all the water that I've got. So I did open up the emergency pickle, but I wasn't sure where my camera was at that point. Yeah, I had about 2 bites of it, and then that was enough for me. But I poured out the juice into the cup and then drank that, which was interesting, but it's definitely helped hydrate me a little bit. We've got the rice simmering away, And I'm going to keep showing it because it is amazing, that view. Sat in the door of the tent. Can't ask for better than that, really. So yeah, I had some dinner. I just had the Malaysian coconut curry, some rice as well. It was pretty nice, and a Diet Coke to go with it. And yeah, that's really kind of sorted me out. Felt re-energized after that, and drinking pickle juice. Can't believe I drank pickle juice. So yeah, I thought I'd just come out, have a little wander about. Got my camp shoes on. So I bought these just in case there's any river crossings, and I thought it might be a bit nicer just to wear something a bit airier on the feet, especially as my other shoes are just drying off at the moment. So you'll notice they are Lidl's finest, $4.99. They weigh next to nothing. They do take up a little bit of space in the bag, so I'm not going to bring them with me every camp, but yeah, they're pretty funny. I did think there'd be more pitches. I guess here you could probably pitch. But then you don't really get the views. I guess it's more one for when the weather's not quite as good. You want a little bit of shelter. Although, having said that, the wind is picking up a bit. It was due to. Hello everyone, it is now the morning. I've made it through the night. The wind did pick up a bit, so it's been a bit of a breezy night, dealing with the sound of the tent blowing in the wind. Okay, so I'm pretty much packed away, ready to go. Well, not packed away just yet, but I thought I'd do a little video just showing how I packed the bag, sort of things that I brought with me for this camping trip to the most remote part of Dartmoor. So, brought the 65 litre Osprey Rook backpack. There's a pack liner in there, or just like a big dry bag. And then I've got my map and compass there, and also a bladder for some water, although that's going to be empty today. And then I've also just got some, like my socks that I wore yesterday and my shirt that I wore yesterday as well, stuffed down in there. In the top, I've got the sort of things that I'll just need throughout the day. So I've got like zinc oxide tape for any hot spots or blisters, sun cream, like a wind buff, microfiber towel, that sort of thing in there basically. And then we've also got these belts, or these pockets on the hips, which are really useful as well. So I'll put like snacks and carry my phone and things like that in there throughout the day. So yeah, just generally clean clothes in there. So get this in the bag. This might be difficult actually with one hand. So item number 2, we've got a quilt that I use in the summer. So just compared to sleeping bags, this just packs down way smaller, so it takes up virtually no space in the bag. It's really light as well. Okay, next up we've just got a few little bits here. So we've got my pillow, which is Optimus pillow. It's kind of a plush one as well, so it feels a bit more like a real pillow. And what I do is I stuff a couple of items of clothes in there as well, and then inflate it about halfway, and then it's probably the best that I've managed to get a camping pillow. It's not the smallest. I've got a Sea to Summit one that's way smaller, but for comfort with a pillow, I feel like that's something that I'm happy to take the extra weight and take the extra size on as well. So this just goes into the bottom of the bag. Okay, then next up we've just got gas. It's a pretty big gas canister. It's probably not the most efficient thing to be stuffing into a bag, but it's all right, we've got space for it, so that's fine. And then here we've just got the cook set, so that's just the stove. It just attaches onto the top of the gas canister. And then I've got my cup as well on top there, although all I've used that for on this trip is for pickle juice. And then next up we've just got several now pretty empty water bottles apart from this one. So those, generally 2 of those will go in the side pockets and 1 of them in the main part of the bag. And then I've also got this tripod that's held together with parcel tape and a conveniently placed bit of cardboard. So this one is interchangeable with both the camera that I'm using now. Actually, in hindsight, should have used this probably for filming this little bit. But yeah, this is really useful, and I can also swap the attachment out and put my phone on there. So if I'm wanting to watch something in the evening, it makes that really easy as well. Okay, next up we've got a sleeping mat. So this is just my inflatable mat, which packs down really well as well. So yeah, you can compress it down pretty nicely in this bag. So just again goes towards the bottom of the bag. It's one of the heavier items. And then we've got the electronics bag. So this is just any electronics, that sort of thing that I bring, like cables, spare batteries for the camera. Yeah, just... Okay, so tent's away. Apologies, it's really windy. So the last few things to put away. Here we've got the tent, which again is packs down pretty small. I'd say it's fairly light. We've got tent pegs. We've got, this is a bag with just rubbish in, and also my dirty bowl from last night because I didn't want to use water to wash it here, so I don't want to get home. And then yeah, we've got today's water, and then we've got the camp and water crossing shoes, so I'll put those on the top of the bag. And then I've just got this as well, which is like a sort of a warmer layer for today if I need it, which probably won't. And then we've got the trekking poles, which also serve as the tent poles. I've got my foam mat attached to the front, which is actually quite useful, although I'm not doing it now. It does mean that the bag stands up like that. So when you're hiking and you just want to put the bag down, it means that you're not having to sort of lay it down or anything. It just makes things a bit easier, I think. Right, I'll get everything in. I'll show you what it's like when it's all packed in. It should be fairly light today as well because I've drunk a lot of the water, eaten a lot of the food, all that kind of thing. So yes, get everything in there. Double checked everywhere, left no trace. Not putting the trekking poles on the bag just because I'm going to use those. I think they'll be pretty useful going across the bog, especially if I'm a bit tired from yesterday. So this is it. Last time at Fair Tour, probably for a little while. It's been pretty epic, I'd say, certainly for the camp spot. It's been a really good one, quite possibly one of my favourite camps, certainly in terms of views and the weather that allowed me to enjoy the views. Probably my favourite camp. I think the work that I put in to get here as well yesterday probably also made it worth it. I think if I got here and hadn't found this pitch, I'd have probably been a bit annoyed. But yeah, if you are feeling brave, get yourself out here on a day like this because it is unbelievable. Okay, so I'm pretty much at the top of Cut Hill now. Yesterday I kind of skirted around the bottom a little bit, or about halfway down, and that might have led me to have quite a bad time, because there is a path that goes up to the top, so we are going to have to leave the path in a moment, and that's when the real fun begins. But for now, this initial part of the day, it's definitely been easier than yesterday, because if I'd gone yesterday's route, I'd have been trudging through all that. So I'm just making my way down off Cut Hill now, sort of heading over in that direction. It's definitely slightly easier going up here than the shortcut that I thought I was taking yesterday. So with a bit of careful navigation, you can keep your feet fairly dry through all this. So the longer I can keep my feet dry today, the better. So yeah, we're just heading down over there, then we'll head off up towards Hangingstone Hill, which can't see at the moment. I don't think that's it in the distance, but we'll see it in a bit. It's fairly obvious once it does come into view because of the hut that's on the top. So that lovely path that we've just had down off Cut Hill has come to an end. You can just see Firtor poking up over there, and obviously the same view that we've had. Yeah, so now it's just a case of heading off into the unknown. You pick a trail, looks like I've got a couple to choose from here. So yeah, this is a point where the feet get wet, and it temporarily stops becoming fun in the moment. So yeah, even this area here is pretty boggy, but we just need to get through it. Hi, voiceover Chris here. It turns out that I didn't record an outro during the hike back, but this was a very fun and challenging hike and camp, especially as we were in the middle of a heat wave, but I'd say the views were definitely worth it. Thank you everyone for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I am currently training for a big adventure coming up in a couple of months, so this will be a great time to get subscribed to the channel, as there should be some really good content coming along with that challenge. So thanks again, and until next time, bye.